Hello guys, welcome to Team Mixing Adventures. Lisa here. I am back today. I said I might be to show you another recipe off the downloadable for this month that is just about to come to an end, all about healthy snacks. Now today I'm going to show you these awesome phyllo triangles. I'm really excited to show you them. They're really quite easy, but sometimes we're put off by what they're asking us to do. So today I'm going to step you through that and hopefully give you the confidence to be able to do this. Now I have pre-done the beginning of this recipe for you guys because I figured you did not want to watch me cook off Leek. Okay, now you'll see there's an entire collection for phyllo on Cookie Doo. Just go check it out. There's some beautiful little cups you can make. This is obviously triangles. There's like a plaited thing, like it's just beautiful. So I'll tell you about the beginning of this recipe so that you have that confidence to do it. Do say hi if you're watching on today, by the way. First things first, you'll see this Gruyere cheese. Now I just use Parmesan because it's too expensive to buy the other stuff. My family eat too much for that. So just use your Parmesan. If you were stuck, you could use Tasty, okay? So that would work perfectly fine. 2 ounces, you'll see it's a US recipe, okay? Don't let that put you off. Except, I just got a wet patch on the screen, so it's not going. There we go. Insert the measuring cup and you blitz that down for 10 seconds on speed 10. Then transfer to a bowl and set aside. I've got that up the back because it's going to go in later on, okay? Then you put some lemon peel. Now I made this last week and I did put it in last week. I decided this time I wouldn't bother, totally up to you, but I also skipped the chili. So probably the lemon might offset the chili a bit, so I've just decided to go without the lemon peel, but it would normally put a peel of lemon in, so you just get your peeler, peel some strips and put it in and blitz it down. So I did skip that. Then it goes to adding to the bowl after you have blitzed that down 2 leeks, and it says approximately 6 ounces. So I actually brought up the scales using the 3 dots next to the next button and brought those scales up, which show up in ounces because I'm in an ounces recipe, and I just put in my 6 ounces of leek cut into pieces. Then you've got a clove of garlic. Sorry, my hand's in the way. Okay, clove of garlic. Then you've got some butter, or you could use oil if you want it to be dairy free. I did use butter, mainly because I like the buttered leek flavor. That's just personal preference. Then you've got some salt. I did veggie stock, okay? Put 1/4 teaspoon of veggie stock instead. Do yourself that favor. Don't go heavy handed on that. When I made it last week, it was too salty because I reckon I put 1/4 in and it was too much. And then some pepper, which I actually haven't done. Just wondering if I've got my pepper here and I can do that now. Must have put it away after the last recipe. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll go with that. Then some chili flakes and then some tarragon, which we did, and then on with the lid, okay? It chops it for 2 seconds, speed 4, scrape down the sides, and then you cook it off for 3 minutes at 212 degrees, on speed 1, okay? Then it tells you to add some ingredients, and that's the point I'm up to. Except my bowl you'll see is considerably cooler because I do know the next step is going to tell me to actually let it cool, and I'm obviously not going to do that because I'm on with you guys live today. So the first thing it's asking for is 2 ounces of cream cheese. Now the easy way to figure out how much to approximately cut off is multiply by 3 and add a 0 to get to grams. So that's about 60 grams. So I'm going to guess it's kind of like a little chunk off the end. Let's have a look and see. Maybe if it'll go in. If I didn't have cream cheese, I would use ricotta. We make ricotta every couple of days at our place here and use it for different ways. Or yogurt I think would be yummy as well. If you've got a thick yogurt you've made, I think that would just be beautiful. Next up we've got some Dijon. Nothing is better than leek and Dijon butter. It's 1 teaspoon. You'll notice I don't bother getting a teaspoon out, just use what you've got. And then it's got I think it's got the Parmesan. Yep. And then, or Gruyere cheese, or Tasty if you're using Tasty. And I reckon the thing is, I think you could get away with using Tasty because you've actually got the veggie stock in there, which is just going to lift that flavour absolutely beautifully. And last up, you've got an egg, which is the binder. Okay, it holds it all together, so in that goes. Now we're going to mix it together. And we're then going to do this part that might be a little off-putting if you hadn't seen how to do it, but you're about to get skilled so you can do it. So 20 seconds on speed 2.5. Now over here, I've got my phyllo, okay? Now you have to get it out in advance because otherwise it's frozen and you can't work with frozen, okay? You can't even speed the process up because otherwise when you go to unroll it, it'll crack and you don't want it to unroll, crack when you unroll it. So you do need to give yourself the time to get this out of the freezer, let it defrost. Okay, so now it's going to tell us to place this aside to cool. Because I had that break in time, because actually, truth be known, me in my usual form, I wasn't organized with this out, the phyllo out to defrost. So I did this part, got the phyllo out, went, oh, I need to defrost this, and I've been waiting. So that's actually what the pause was. Now with the phyllo, a couple of things. Yes, you got to let it defrost. It also dries out quite quickly. So I've got a wet towel on top of it. It's sitting here on my Thermo mat. Okay, I've still got the blue layer on it. I've then got my sheets of phyllo, and then I've got my beautiful wet tea towel over the top. Okay, important you keep it wet, otherwise it'll dry out. And I've got a fan on because it's super hot today. So I think it's 30 something degrees. So I want to not let it dry out. Okay, so now clean mixing bowl, and normally it gets you to preheat your oven, line a baking tray, and now it's asking you to melt butter. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut today where we're actually using spray oil, and I don't use spray oil very often, you guys know that, but going to today, because what it's going to allow me to do is work with this pastry a bit differently. There are times when, yes, I would melt the butter and use butter and brush it over, things like making the beautiful Greek dessert that the name is eluding me right now with the layers of phyllo in it. That needs that buttery goodness. But when we're talking about something like this that's savory, spray oil does an amazing job with less mess. Okay, so it tells you now what to do, melt that, and then it tells you how to butter them all. So this is where I'm going to step you through this. So you're using 3 sheets at a time. So in total, you're going to use 12, but you're just going to use 3, and you're then going to make 8. So come with me, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So first things first, I'm going to actually move. I'm in limited space here, guys. This makes me a little nervous that I'm in a bit of a tight squeeze, but I'm going to move the actual blue layer, if I can, forward, just so that it's out of your view, but also then I can use the mat behind a bit more successfully, hopefully. So there we go. So I'm going to work on my Thermo mat. I love my Thermo mat. If you don't have one, get yourself one. It keeps your bench clean. When we traveled in the caravan, I can't live without one because it just means all that floury mess, pack it up, shake it out, rinse it out, and you're good to go again, okay? So what we need to do is we need to just uncover this for a moment. And you'll notice phyllo is quite, like it's, I don't know, what's the word, delicate. And we want to take our top layer off. We do need to cover it back up in a moment. You'll see it got a bit damp in that keeping damp process, but it doesn't really matter. Well, hopefully it doesn't matter in a second. I've got 2 sheets here incidentally, that's okay. Now what I want to do is get that sticky bit off my finger. I want to lay one of them at least flat, okay? I'm going to just go with the more solid one. See how I've connected 2? Don't stress about that, it's all right. Hope this gives you the confidence to give it a go. Spray oil, spray, okay? Around the edges, across the center. Now I'm going to pick the broken one up and I'm going to lay this on top to actually be my second layer. We're aiming for 3 layers. So I'm not going to let that go to waste just because it's a bit, not quite right. And I'm going to even put in the little bits off the side. Okay, now on this first layer, truth be known, I'll actually do 4 to make up for the fact that I've just kind of put a bit of a creative layer in the middle, okay? These ones didn't get really damp in the waiting period, so you can see they're easy enough to work with. So there's that one on top. We'll pretend that's number 2. This one will just have a little bit more pastry. The kids will think that's amazing. And make sure you do the edges. You'll see I do edges first and then the center. And now we do the last one. So peel that up. I don't know that you can see me peeling it off gently. There we go. Just a couple of storage tips with your leftover phyllo. Always make sure you store it airtight. Otherwise you'll find it's just unworkable later. Just going to cover that layer up. I might actually put it on itself and cover it up with the towel. And we'll come back to that later to do the other layers. Okay, so wet towel over the top of that to keep it moist. And this time I fold it on itself, so it's pastry on pastry, so that it doesn't have that same creative issue we've just had. So up here now, I've got my 3 layers, and this is what's going to create my little triangles. So let's get cracking on the triangles. You'll need a pair of scissors. Just going to spin that out the way a bit. There we go. As long as it doesn't end up on the floor. We're going to cut this into 8 pieces, and we're actually cutting, I don't know how you explain this, you're just going to have to watch. Okay, rectangle like so. We're going to go through the middle to start off with this way. So we're going up here, and I'm cutting with scissors because we never cut with knives on our Thermomat. Anyone watching on ever made this before? I'd love to know. Now we're going for 8 pieces all up, so I'm going to cut through the center this way. And then I'm going to do it one more time. These are nice little phyllo triangles, okay? Now you don't have to go tiny bite size, and I'm actually tempted not to be completely honest with you. I'm actually thinking here and now that I'd rather leave them a little bit bigger today. When I made them last time, they were little and petite. They were bite size. I'm just wondering though, hang on, I might have to take my words back. I need to make sure it can fold enough to close in, okay? Because that's what's going to happen in a minute, and yes, it does. Happy days. If you'll, you know, so they come in a standard width, so technically if you've got the same one I do, you should be fine. But yes, we made them smaller the other day. Hopefully it said 8. Have I given you the wrong number? Let's just have a quick check. Okay, this should make 32. No, it says to cut into 8. 8 will make it quite small. If you can imagine now, at least on the brand I've got, 8's going to make them half size. I'm just going to stop like that, okay? Mine are approximately, to give you an idea, mine are just short of, mine are about 9 centimeters. Okay, 9 centimeters by 25. Okay, so that's it, just if that's helpful to you. So now we get our mix and we put a little dollop on there, okay, close to the edge, the corner. Oh, it smells amazing, even without the pepper, it smells amazing. And now we start folding. So you guys can see that. We pick a corner and we go over and we make sure the side is lining up. You guys can see that on my camera. Now I pick it up and I flip it over this way. Wonder if I should spray between each layer. Let's just get a little spray. That'll help it stick and also stop this drying out. So I might just do that as well. So I am under a fan as we speak. So on top like this. Now at the moment I still have a hole this way. I need to get another 2 folds, which is actually why I stopped at the beginning and checked I could do it, okay? So I'm gonna go over, and can you guys see now, see that hole? It's still there. It's got like a little, looks like a cone, an ice cream cone. But then this last one closes it up, which is where I actually need to make sure I've got spray on to close it over. So lift the final side over, which completes it. I now have a full closed in triangle, and spray the little corner. Can you see how much easier the spray is to butter? And then just over the top. And guess what? First one, ready for the tray. Okay, yes, bigger than the original recipe calls for, but golly gosh, isn't that pretty and easy? And you'd never know in their disguise was a layer of kind of whoopsie daisy. So I'll show you another couple. I'll finish these 4. As I said, it's supposed to make 32, but in saying that, it won't make 32 at this size. Half of 32 is 16, so I'll be looking at making 16. So it also means as I divide up my mixture, I want to be looking in this mixture going, okay, I need to get 16 out of it, all right? So similarly, okay, over to the corner, try and get a nice angle on it. It needs to be straight on the line, okay? Lift it over. And now this is the bottom side. I'll give it a little spray. Roll it over. We're not quite contained yet, but now our containment one. That's the filling you can see there. So I'd love to know in the chat, are you going to give this a go now? I know some of you guys are watching on today. Some of you will be watching the replay. How do you feel about it? Is it something you're going to give a try to? It's actually easy. Okay, yes, 2 hours to get that phyllo out and let it defrost to be used. Okay, yeah, but if I can do this, you can do this. All right, it is impressive, it is tasty, and it's pretty healthy. Like phyllo is one of those things that, you know, it's not unhealthy. I mean, yes, it's got flour in it. Okay, gluten-free people, not for you, obviously. And I don't believe there's a gluten-free phyllo alternative, okay? And I obviously didn't make it myself, just to be really clear and transparent. It's not something I would want to try and make. I've just got to get this bit back from the corner. Can you guys see how I've got a big chunk in that diagonal corner where I'm going to start? That'll just ooze out, so I just wanted to pull it back a bit. So yes, give these a go. They're impressive. I'm impressed, okay? I want to see yours when you do. Please share them with me. I'd love to see your cooking. I'm loving seeing in my customer support group today. And actually, we had a cook along yesterday and we made some beautiful Argentinian chicken empanadas. And so I'm loving seeing everybody's final products today of that. It looks absolutely amazing. I know my family loved it. So yes, I love seeing what you're making. I love to hear from you guys. So don't ever be a stranger. Look at that, there's another one. So I won't show you the last one. I'm sure you do not need to see me make a fourth one. But that is how you make the beautiful phyllo triangles. My little tips around making it faster. Tips for storing your phyllo, please make sure you put it back in an airtight. If there's anything left of it, put it in a vacuum seal bag or at least a Glad bag. You might have to use a big A4 one, but at least that you've got the air out of it, otherwise it wastes the rest of it, okay? But beautiful, simple, tasty, amazing, and you can do it. And that's what I love about the Thermomix. There is new recipes to be found all the time. This is pretty new to Cookie Do. I think this collection came on the US Cookie Do only a couple of days ago. Actually, probably a month ago now, to be honest. I'm like, days are flowing this month. I can't believe today's the end of, or tomorrow is the end of January. And we're into February. Where has this year already been going? But otherwise, guys, take care. If I can help you with anything regarding your Thermomix, reach out. I love to support you. Remember to go download your list, tmxingadventures.com.au. Go to the blog up the top and you will find the downloadable of all these month's healthy snacks. So I've done them all this month. I will take time eventually to actually add those links into there so that you can watch the videos later and find them with ease. But otherwise, I'm here to help you get the very most out of your Thermomix. So don't be a stranger. Reach out if I can help anyway. But have a fantastic week. Take care, and I will see you again soon. And yeah, happy cooking till then. Bye for now.